Nerd Soul.
Oh yeah, that's right. Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing in StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today, oh yeah, another wonderful episode of Soultaku, bruh. You best believe we gonna be chilling up in here. We gonna do a little something new. We gonna do a little something old. We gonna have a good time. I hope y'all up in here chilling. I want to give a shout out to everybody who done clicked on the video. All right, if you watch 1 second or you watch all the seconds, thank you for coming through. So we gonna get into Ninja Kamui right now. Yo, man, look, let me tell you. If someone was gonna pitch a show that was gonna be just for me, this would be it. Like if someone was gonna pitch a show and be like, we need someone who's gonna be fighting, doing mad cool stuff. Going out, vengeance is the only way, beating down people left and right. This is it. And we're getting more background story, a little foreshadowing in this new episode 2. And I dig it. I dig it a lot. I like how we open up with the whole, I guess this might be a memory or it might be just a flashback of the ninja clan that he's in, the organization. They're going through changes. There's going to be some new management. And apparently there's going to be a larger power that they fall under, and this is why we've seen the disobedience, or what they call disobedience or defection, and those people that we see getting chased down are probably the people that are like, hey, look, we don't roll with this new this new overlord or what have you that is supposed to be controlling the ninja organization that we've built up to this point. So it seems that they just like straight went after him. Like they said, hey, look, anyone who is disobedient, anyone who's defecting, they will be eliminated. And they also say that this is for the future of Japan. So I don't know if this new power came in and had the ability to destroy the ninja organization, and this is what they did to try to hold on to power or to just stay alive and survive. But in this situation, in this case, it seems like the master that we speak to and that we see in the end of this episode, that we also saw in the end of the first episode that was sitting in the car, is maybe not as in control as we believe he is. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But this episode rocks because the guy that we see battle at the very end of the first episode is now tied up, hanging upside down. And we get a sequence where we think, oh, he's going to torture him for information. And it's like, nah, I don't want any information from you whatsoever. I'm not interested in anything from you, knowledge wise. I'm actually just going to torture you. You killed my wife and my son. I'm just going to torture you. Because he said, ninjas never break. He's like, oh, I know. No, I got you on that. I'm not interested in breaking you. I'm here to make it as painful for you as possible and then burn you alive. You know what I'm saying? And that look in his eyes where he was standing like face to face with him when he lit that match, man, fire. Literal fire. I also dug that we're getting more information about kind of these, I don't know if abilities or powers or skills, however they want to term it, but the power that he used in the last episode where he was like, there was like black smoke all around and he like disappeared and stuff and was beating people up from all angles. The doctor guy that came in with all the cats, I'm gonna just call him Catman that came through, he called it stark awareness, and he said that it can kill you if you use it again. Now I don't know, because I don't know if this is something special about Higan, because the wound that he received in the hospital is what, the guy said should have killed him. Like, this should have took you out. You should have been dead. You know what I'm saying? And So with that said, I wonder if we're going to find out that there's something special about him, or maybe about his physiology that maybe even he doesn't know, because he was like, hey, I don't know why I'm alive. Like, I thought I should be dead too. And even like we saw in the first episode, the guy checked his pulse and he was gone. So I know they're kind of like me. They're like, yo, man, I don't know how this dude is still alive. And maybe we'll find out more about Higan later, or maybe in season 2, something like that. But it definitely, starts to peel back a layer on maybe even him or his background that maybe he isn't even aware of. Because we do see him use another ninja ability later in the restaurant. I'll talk about it in a second, but in the restaurant, we see him use a ninja ability similar to like the hand sign, the signals that they did in Naruto, like similar to that. So I don't know if that's something that's like a branch of the sort of Stark awareness, quote unquote, I guess, or if that's something completely different that you can do without sort of possibly putting yourself in harm's way, maybe. So we'll see how that thing works out. But I definitely dug the introduction of that doctor character, because people like this, I mean, like when you look at stuff like John Wick or something like that, you can't do it completely on your own. Like, you can do a lot on your own, but you're going to need some help. You're going to need a benefactor, maybe some money, maybe somebody to give you a place to stay, maybe someone give you a sandwich, or somebody put a Band-Aid on you. So you're going to need some help. So at least we have established that he has an old friend that was part of the technology that was able to like hide their faces, and then him being like, hey man, they don't work no more. They figured out a way to, get past that. So that's something that, has not only opened the door to, okay, this guy is a doctor, but this guy is also, he's able to sort of engineer technological solutions for him, which is cool. I think that's cool because, we're going to need somebody who wears a lot of hats. And he even asked him, he was like, so are you going to be fighting with me? And we didn't get a yes or no. And maybe that doctor guy is still trying to figure out on his own. Or maybe he's like, look, man, they ain't found me, so I'm trying to chill on it. I'm trying to chill. Look, I don't need that stress. Now, I do want to give a shout out to, once again, to the black character, Mike Morris in this. They have him look like a regular black person. He doesn't have like big, stupid pink lips or something. He's basically not a minstrel. You know what I'm saying? Because Japanese people do be doing that to black people sometimes. And yes, I said do be doing it. I meant to say it just like that. But this character is just a black guy. He's just a regular black guy. Just like the dude in the first episode where he was on the train. Just a regular black dude. Like nothing crazy or, outlandish about his facial features and stuff. Just a regular person. And we can see already similar to how Ninja Assassin played out, that the FBI is like, the higher up said leave this alone. So the investigation's over and don't talk about it. Don't Google it. Don't record it. Don't mention it. Don't nothing. And Mike is, not only is Mike upset about this, but Mike, we find, is about to retire. So on one hand, it's like, that shows his demeanor and his tenacity about his job, because this is someone like, if they say he's close to retirement, if he's about to retire, he could just be like, man, let me go and skate out the rest of this year, going to have my retirement party and leave, you know what I'm saying, and chill out. But he's like, no, until I clock out, until I retire, I'm treating every investigation like it's the first one. You know what I'm saying? He's like, look, I want you to check every outhouse, boathouse, and I don't know, bathhouse or something like that. But anyway, the anger that he carries out is kind of like well balanced with Emma. Because he comes out to Emma, he mad because dude's like, Emma changed her story. I hope you don't know about that, because of course they probably came down on her and like, look, you didn't see nothing, you didn't experience nothing, and that's the end of it. And she was like, yes sir. But then she said, look, hey, don't worry about that. Don't look, we gonna pretend like ain't nothing changed. We gonna pretend like we ain't investigating, but we gonna investigate. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna pretend like we, yes sir, we gonna do what you say, and then on the low, see, we gonna, we gonna tuck the chain, and then we ain't gonna be talking. But when they leave, we gonna be talking again. So Emma, I kind of like her style. I kind of like Emma's style. Sometimes you gotta be like, all right, cool, you won, you got yours, and then on the low, do your thing, because she even went to the VR. People doing crime in VR. She even like, look, I'm doing this other case, but she was quick to try to get that. Very quick to try to get that trace on that phone call when Joe actually called them, or Joe/Higan called them. So I like that she's not a turncoat, because in the first episode I was wondering if she was a bad guy or not, but now, at least unless we're about to get thrown another curveball, it seems that she's firmly in the good guy category. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, we still going to investigate this. We're still going to stop these people that are doing these killings, and we just got to be discreet about it, if you will. So that's something that I'm like, okay, we can deal with that. We can live with that. We can work with that. So I'm like, cool. We can. That's word. I'm down with that. But we also have to move forward slowly, because it, like we see, yo man, Higan is skittish for good reason. You know what I'm saying? These people that he's up against are not, are not to be trifled with. And we find that out when he actually calls Mike Morris after the after the beat down at the bar, where, just casually take out dirty cops, you know what I'm saying? Which ain't nothing wrong with that. And if you a dirty cop, you gotta go down. And I'm glad he punched. Yo, the wind from his punch knocked him into the wall. Alright, at the same time, like, dude broke up the bar, but I mean, it ain't his fault. He ain't a dirty cop. Hey, look, if they would have came in and minded their business, wouldn't that be broke? So I mean, it's their fault for everything being broke in the first place, and probably some of their bones being broke too. But when he calls Mike, we see real quick that he's not for no games. Higan is like, look, I'm coming here. I want to get some information. You pick. And when he's like, yo, I know you trying to track my phone, I ain't gonna let you do that. So don't even worry about that. They ain't happen. But at the same time, I do want to see what you have. I want to compare notes. Let's see what's going on. Because, of course, people like this can't do this completely alone. They do need some help. You know what I'm saying? They need someone to come in and, assist in some way, shape, or form. So I did like that he was willing to go see Mike Morris. And then Mike Morris was willing to meet him. Now, they did meet. Oh, man. They met during the, quote, dinner rush at that restaurant. Bruh, what dinner rush? You had like 3 orders. What, 3 orders? You had like 3 orders talking about some dinner rush? Bruh, if you don't get out of here. And that place didn't look too sanitary, man. That place looked like you just don't want to eat there. You don't want, they don't have an A on the door. You know what I'm saying? They probably got a B or a C. And that's being generous. You know what I'm saying? They just don't look like they don't look like they're up to code. I'm pretty sure we go in that kitchen. What's the dude? Is it Gordon Ramsay? The one he be going to people restaurants and be all dirty and stuff in there. It looked like he the kitchen makeover or something, or the restaurant makeover, or save my restaurant or whatever. Help my bars or something, whatever it is. Like, look, it looked like if you go in the back of that kitchen, you're gonna be like, man, I do not want to eat here ever again. And I ain't going front. That's happened to me before. Sidebar, I ain't going front. I used to eat at this spot, and I loved this spot in LA. I loved it. And I happened to see back in the kitchen one day, and I was like, I can't eat here no more. I can't do it no more. But anyway, slide from that. Their conversation, I thought, started off in good faith. You know what I'm saying? I thought it started off in good faith. Higan comes up. He's like, look, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give, I want information for you, but I'm going to answer your questions too. And then Mike blows the spot by pulling a gun on him, man. Come on. Now, the comedy of this situation is that the delivery dudes don't even pay attention to the guy pulling a gun on someone. They're just like, whatever, look, man, I'm here to pick up the food and be out. He's like, all right, rice, beans, I don't know, chicken, all right, I'm out. They ask no other questions. So I guess the attitude from Mike is a little unwarranted. I mean, I guess I get him thinking or seeing that, hey, this dude is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? He's not some innocent guy. But I would say that, I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't immediately pull a gun on this dude. Like, okay, it's clear that he most likely killed all those ninjas that came after him. But at the same time, it's clear this dude is, you know what? Yeah, I mean, he is a victim. Like, this dude, they tried to murder this guy. So it's clear this guy is the victim. You know what I'm saying? Just because he could defend himself don't mean that he's any less a victim. You know what I'm saying? He was chilling at his house. These people came to it. They started stabbing him. All right? Then they came to the hospital to stab him again. And he said, halt, crones, and stabbed them first. All right? So just because he stabbed them first, he was defending himself. So I wouldn't have pulled my gun on him. I don't see a reason to, I don't know. I just don't see a reason to pull out on him all early like that. Like, Mike a little jumpy, man. Maybe he got bad nerves. I mean, he's an FBI agent, you know what I'm saying? He's been through a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? He about close to retirement. He want to make sure he doesn't die. But that that restaurant / kitchen area, we had a scene. Because before the owner walks out, he says, I'm going for 30 minutes. He said, don't break nothing. Whatever you break, you pay for, or something like that. Man, look, my brother, yo, they had the nerve to not only break just a few things, the whole restaurant got blown up. In a dope fight scene, this dude comes in and, of course, he's dressed as one of those like delivery guys from Alza, which we'll talk about in a second, but he's dressed like some delivery dude, but no. He ain't there to pick up nothing. Because dude comes straight in for the kill. And shouts out to Higan, once again extending his grace to Mike. Because Mike could have got killed in that fight. He actually blocked the first blow with the stool or the chair or whatever. And then they got the fighting, and like the animation was top notch, of course. Like it seems like they're shooting for Jujutsu Kaisen levels, so I'm here for it. And we got this dude pulling out 2 extra arms. I'm like, hold on, what's going on? And then, Higan is holding his own with the 2 arms. I'm like, word, all right, cling, clang, bang. I'm like, word, all right, cool, we good. Then your boy Higan, he hit you with the Kagebushin or something. Boom, he got like 6 arms. Man, yo, it was crazy. I've watched that fight scene twice now. I'm probably going to watch it again later today. But I love this show. I ain't going front, man. From front to back, this joint comes through on a way that, man, look, if you don't feel it yet, just watch the scene again. Because whether they're slicing through tables or chairs, the movement around, the fact that he has those kind of like sickles on chains or strings or whatever, and it's like flying around the restaurant. You got Mike ducking for cover. It even sliced through his body armor without even getting like nicked or scratched. Yo, that scene was crazy, because not only do you have Joe / Higan protecting Mike, but also fighting the guy, and then Mike also taking shots at the guy while Joe was fighting him. It's like, yo, this is a weird 2-on-1 / free-for-all type fight, and I thought it was well directed, well paced. Man, I was impressed. And then the way he took out, I guess both of them, maybe both of them, because he split into two. And that's another thing. They're not explaining everything about these like ninja skills, ninja arts, whatever. And I like that. Just slowly peel back the layers for us. I like how they're doing it now. You know, we get a little bit of layer this episode, a little bit of layer the next. And with this episode, when he splits into two, when he kills the guy, it does look like he kills. It looks like he kills one person, but with two heads. Or was I tripping? Because it looked like there was like an extra head on the floor. But maybe that was like, I don't know, some kind of, dummy, or fake, decoy. It was weird to try to figure out what that guy was doing while the episode was going on. But at the same time, I appreciate how well this is put together, and that they're not just dumping everything to us with one episode. They're slowly kind of leading us along. And that's slow. Now, I will say one that's kind of blatant. The slow part, this whole Owza thing, Owza is definitely the bad guy, right? Owza, the organization, is definitely the bad guy. Are you feeling that? Because I'm feeling that. Because that's the only part of this episode that I thought they got heavy-handed with. They were like, just so you know, Owza's bad. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like they wanted to make sure that, like, you knew, I knew, we all knew Owza ain't good. And they keep closing in on the guy's face, the dude that was saying, from the cradle to the grave, we take care of all your technology thing. I'm wondering if he is the person that is running the ninja, the ninja organization now, or if he's someone from the ninja organization that has defected, but that has become so powerful that they can't directly come after him. Because that is an option too. There is an option that Owza is not a bad guy, but Owza, the organization, isn't the bad guy, but it's headed by a defector. So we'll see how that is, man. Holla at me. Let's talk Ninja Kamui down in the comments. I'm blown away by this show. I'm digging it, and I am on board totally. So on the flip side, I did get a chance to finally finish up Blue Eye Samurai, and I think that this is a satisfying and not satisfying ending at the same time kind of thing with this. This show. I really wanted Fowler to take a L, but he sort of did, but he sort of didn't. But it also left the game open for future seasons, and I don't know if it's been announced for season 2 or not. You guys can let me know if it has, because I'm not exactly sure. But in the last 2 episodes, I have such a respect for the writing of the characters of like Mizu, Akemi, Ringo, Taigen. This show has had such a great character arc for multiple characters. Like, think about Seki and the way he was probably more of a parent to Akemi emotionally than her actual parent. Well, her mother has passed away, I believe. So, but then her father, you know what I'm saying? And seeing how he was there to make sure that he protected her no matter what, and still saying, like, even though you want to be different, even though that you're going through these changes and you think that you're different, and you think that you're so enigmatic when it comes to your father or whatever. He's like, the only thing I know most about in life is you. Like, I know everything about you. And I will say, even Akemi at the end does seem, I know it's kind of framed like she's like, hey, I'm married to this guy and I'm gonna stay married to him instead of Taigen because I want to be great. I want to be more. And they kind of tried to stick on that word of great and everything, but it's still, for Kimmy, to me, it still came off like she wasn't really making her choices. It still seemed like she was trying to be something that Madame Kaji wanted her to be, or that Madame Kaji at least, you know, maybe something that Madame Kaji influenced her to be. So to me, it still came off like she wasn't her own woman. Because what she wanted from the beginning was to be with Taigen, and that is what thrust her into this, sort of like into this whole journey. And I guess you could say it's a journey of discovery, but to me, it still came off like this is someone who, yes, they're in this situation now, but the situation that they're in now of being like a princess and being married to the shogun's son is also more about her being kind of influenced by Madame Kaji and wanting to be, there's a part of her that kind of wants to be like Madame Kaji, you know what I'm saying? And at least that it came off to me that it's like she's still trying to be someone else and she's not sort of making her own choices. And also because when she talks about being great, there is a conversation that she has with Seki that isn't particularly about being great, but it is surrounding that conversation of like what greatness is and what, you know, people think and term as greatness. And it might have been like episode 5 or something like that. But basically him being like, you know, like greatness, sort of like greatness is something that is decided on an individual basis, or if you're in a couple, you guys decide it together or something like that. And this vision of greatness kind of seems like something that is greatness to Madame Kaji and the other sort of like the other moneyed class or the elite people, and not really what's great to her and Taigen. Because she could have been married to a shogun's son or something like that mad long ago, but she wanted Taigen from the jump. So she could have ran that whole path before. But, you know, maybe I'm tripping. This is how I saw it. I saw it like, okay, I get it, and it's cool that you want to go this way, but this doesn't seem like this is the way that you want to go. It seems like more of a way that, like, I guess is available to you, and someone that you sort of admire has inspired you to go, or so kind of influenced you to go this way, because this is something that they want. This is something that they would do, but not particularly something that you would do. But on the flip, I also like Ringo, man. Ringo goes from like being this character that is completely insulated. He's introverted. He's, you know, abused at every turn, basically. But there is a light in him that it's like, yo, I'm not going to just, you know, give up here. Even if I'm being abused, I'm going to do the best job I can here and do the best I can there and be the best person I can for myself and the people around me. And it shows, like, as he goes on this journey, he not only helps Mizu in her character, but also helps Taigen in his character. And inspires them in ways with his own light, which I think is cool. He also comes to the realization like, hey, look, like there's other loves that I have besides just making ramen. You know what I'm saying? Like he ends up meeting the Sword Father and really being like, yo, man, I want to be here. I want to do this. Now, I can do this, but I have to still help my first master, or the first person that I kind of like, you know, I guess pledge myself to in service. And even though they came to a head, they came to Jesus or whatever you want to call it, he still was there for Mizu whenever she needed. Even sometimes when she didn't ask him to be there, he was still there because of his care for her and his kind of like his commitment to his duty and what he had pledged to her, and becoming stronger along the way, becoming more steadfast throughout the way, becoming more solid for those around him throughout the story. I dug it, man. Like, he grew a lot. Akemi, even though I don't really agree with what Akemi did, Akemi has grown a lot from where she was. Akemi was very whiny before, and Akemi is not whiny anymore. You have someone in Ringo who was very introverted at first, and I mean, even though he talked a lot, he was very introverted. He was abused. He doesn't allow people to abuse him anymore. And he kind of like speaks his mind and goes, like head first into situations to help people, to save people, things like that. And then we have Taigen, who is probably the sort of like the arrogant, rich, pretty boy sort of kind of guy at the beginning, and finds a way to really tap into his, I guess you could say, honor for the Shogun, where he kind of did everything he could to make sure he got word to the Shogun, and then after getting word to the Shogun, stayed by his side even in the face of death. He went from someone who was kind of like this showy kind of guy, and I mean, we knew how he was as a kid. He was a little poop as a kid, and he has completely grown into what I would consider a great man, because these actions that you take, the things that you do for others, that's what people remember. This if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for Ringo, wasn't for Mizu, there would not be a shogunate still standing. So him and how he kind of like maintained his resolve, he maintained his vigor throughout, being captured and tortured and saved and healed and rehealed and all this stuff. He got better throughout it, and I definitely appreciate how they handle his character, because he went from a character I was like, oh, this guy, man, I can't wait for him to get killed, and now I'm like, yo, I'm so glad that he wasn't killed. Really, like, I am impressed how they handled that. And then Mizu, of course, seeing the life that she's led, wow, man, I really love how Mizu was handled through this whole season. The growth from coming from, what is it? Not Seki, but Sword Father was saying, like, you're not just a demon inside. And I think she started to realize that when her first encounter with Fowler, like, you're not just a demon inside. There's more there. And if you don't deal with what's more there, then the demon will take two seats. The demon will be all you are, and it's not. So don't let it be. You know what I'm saying? And her kind of going through meeting Taigen, wanting to kill Taigen, sort of saving Taigen later, then growing to be like, okay, we're sort of teammates, we're working together, and then having that respect, that mutual respect for him. I couldn't be happier for how she reconnected with the Sword Father, how she reconnected with Taigen, how she kind of like referred to Ringo. Also, her engagements with Madame Kaji, the second time they met at the Shogun, also with the Kimmy, and how she dealt with the Kimmy and stuff like that. And even when she met her the second time and the Kimmy being mad, she was like, look, Taigen here looking for you. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, straight up, she could have took her man if she wanted, but she has a sense of duty that she has to go over. And I really enjoyed how she grew, how she realized, like, yo, all right, yes, the revenge is the main thing that's driving me, but it can't be the only thing anymore. It's not enough. And we see quickly that throughout Fowler's straight up march all the way through Edo, bruh, look, them guns, like, whew, it was crazy. The difference was just crazy. And then also the fact that he was like, "Oh, the guns are already here. You thought somebody tried to get my stuff at the port. My guns are already here." And so Fowler, just the way he was smart, cunning, and even said it to the Shogun at the end, like, "Hey, look, man, like, you didn't realize that 20 years ago, this is where we would be. This is what we always wanted." And I mean, sadly, he broke down the whole WS playbook to him. It was like, "This is what we do. We had been planning this for years. We had to get you weak and all that, and now there's nothing you can do." And shoot, if it wasn't for Mizu, Taigen, and Ringo, Edo would have been lost, because Fowler was pretty much unstoppable. But Taigen and Mizu took it to him, and then of course Mizu went one-on-one, and she played footsies with that man. Yo, look, you gotta go low. Yo, stab them feet. Yo, look, hey, if somebody stab you in your foot, it ain't gonna be pretty. Alright? You ain't gonna be able to walk like that. So it's like, yes, Fowler is extremely strong. He is a tank of a man. But the tank ain't got no feet. If the tank ain't got no wheels, can't go nowhere. And man, she made sure she disarmed and completely dismantled that man. Now, unfortunately, the part of this finale that I don't like is that Fowler is still alive, man. He's still alive. But I understand. We knew from the beginning she was looking for 4 people. You know what I'm saying? And she only got one of them. So I know she need to keep him for more information, but man, I wanted the satisfaction of him getting his just due. You know what I'm saying? I wanted the satisfaction of him taking an L. So when we ended with her on a boat to London, with him in a cage, I guess that's the best we gonna get. I'm not mad at it. It's just I really wanted to see her really take them down. But you know what? If this leaves us open for another season of tracking down, say 2, and then maybe a season 3 of tracking down the last one, I'd be completely fine with that, and I'd be happy with going forward with that and seeing how like she's able to kind of exact her revenge in that situation. You know, so I'm definitely on board for more Blue Eye Samurai, guys. Hey, I can't get enough. I love the animation style. I love the fight scenes, and I love how the characters were handled. It was written well. It was voice acted well. It looks beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing to look at. I'm completely down. So before I get out here, I'd like to shout out some contributors: Deep House Nation, Lynn Vidal, Enrico Carrion. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to y'all, whether y'all give a penny or give all the pennies, like, share, comment, all that stuff. It helps the channel so much. Of course, we gotta bounce. But before we do, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time that you have to give someone a little bit of mercy to get a full total revenge cake, just saying, peace.